We're here today with Tawse Winery from the Niagara escarpment to be exact. I haven't had the opportunity to go yet. I know I should have gone, but I'm definitely familiar with you and your wines. Tawse Cab Franc and Riesling are two of my favorite bottles from Canada. So what I found interesting in tasting your wines today, Paul, is the consistency in the style of wine that you make. In every bottle there's an indication of the previous bottle. You get a sense after talking to you what you're trying to create. But I think my biggest fascination with you is that you didn't tell me you worked at 7 wineries all over the world and you put that together and came up with something. You started at Tawse right after school.
That's right.
And you stayed there. And I just think that that's wonderful. Like you maximize what you have there and you've excelled in so many ways. So maybe you can tell us.
Yeah, when I went back to school, I went back a bit later in life. I was a carpenter before that. I went to school in '04 and ended up doing my co-op at Tawse in 2005 and started in the vineyards and really learned a lot about growing the grapes. And one of the realizations and take-homes for me was, and it's a bit of a cliche and a trope, but great wines are made in the vineyard. And really, one of the things I wanted to learn was how to grow the very best grapes possible in order to make great wine. I think as a winemaker, the very best we can do is maintain the quality that we bring in from the vineyard. We're never going to improve on that. Learning how to rack wines and to move wine around from wine, it's a good skill to have, but more importantly was to focus on the vineyard and get to know the vineyards that I got to work with. You talk about a wine style. I think our wine style, we really try to be somewhat invisible in the winemaking. Not that we don't do anything, but we try to make our wines pure and transparent so that you get to see the vineyard that they come from. We use oak, but as a supportive role, we're looking for clean wines that don't have any obvious faults. These are things that get in the way of the terroir. Freshness and when to pick. We want to pick wines probably a little bit earlier than most in order to maintain acidity and freshness. We're looking for ripeness, but not wines to be beyond that bright and fresh stage.
I don't think I've ever seen the certification both on the label, the organic and biodynamic. There's maybe only 2 wineries that we could think of that
Correct.
have that on the label. But I've always questioned, do you think that part of the stability of the wine, because I feel like I can open your wine and take the cork or the cap off, leave it on the counter for a long time, and they seem so stable, they only get better. And why is that compared to some of the other wines that we might find in the market?
I think, again, it starts back to we grow very good grapes. We work very hard all summer to grow the grapes. So we're bringing in good, clean fruit that is phenolically ripe, that definitely gives you stability and ageability in the wines. And we're very particular about the winemaking. We want to put into bottle something that we're proud of, that's clean and pure. We don't just let the wines do what they want to do. We are called winemakers for a reason. We do have to be there to guide the grapes through this process of fermentation and into bottle. And it's a little bit on the boring side, but the technical aspects of getting the wine ready for bottle, making sure sterility and the cleanliness is there, these are all things that definitely relate to and help a wine to age well in bottle, and that you have consistency from bottle to bottle to bottle.
Well, and your wine's alive. I know there's some of the bottles where they do everything they can to try and almost sterilize the wine.
Right,
so
yes.
To prevent it, and I feel that each one of these wines is still so alive.
Absolutely. We want to be as non-interventionist as possible so we can allow that wine to definitely be alive in the bottle and to evolve and change over time.
I know I have this Cab Franc in my glass, which is one of my favorites, but I think it's time we tried a Riesling.
Sounds good. I'm going to start off with our Tawse Riesling. This is a blend of about 4 different vineyards we work with. 2016 vintage. When we make Riesling, we pick quite early on Riesling. We're really trying to pick the wine where it has optimum flavor and still great acidity. Definitely looking for Rieslings in that citrus vein, maybe some white stone fruit, white peach, some pear, but not getting into tropical. As the wine ferments, we try to stop the fermentation somewhere with a bit of residual sugar left in there to balance the acidity in the wine. We don't add sugar to sweeten it, but we try to find that balance while the wine is fermented. Let's give it a try.
It smells so good. It's one of those wines that makes the hair stand up in the back.
Yes, it's beautiful. We always try to walk that balance between a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of minerality, the acid-sugar balance we want it to be. Which way is it going to go?
Cheers.
Cheers. Beautiful.
Thank you, Paul.
You're very welcome.
Coming. Tremendous wine. Thanks for coming. What a pleasure.
Thank you.